The sterile, polished concrete of Gotham International Airport, GIA, felt particularly unwelcoming to Dr. Lena Vasquez that Wednesday morning. Despite the cool, gray skies of the city outside, a prickle of unease ran down her spine, a familiar premonition she'd learned to trust. Lena wasn't just a traveler. She was the newly appointed CEO of Ether Systems, a pioneering tech firm that had just secured a multi-billion-dollar government contract. She'd flown in from London on an overnight flight, exhausted but focused, ready for a crucial board meeting. As she approached the baggage claim carousel for Flight 9C, a small, sleek carry-on bag sat conspicuously on the floor beside it, seemingly unattended. It was a distinctive piece, a limited edition smart suitcase from a high-end designer, equipped with biometric locks and a GPS tracker. It was also unmistakably hers. She'd had to check it at the gate due to overhead bin space limitations, a common nuisance. Lena reached for it, her fingers just brushing the cool, metallic surface when a sharp, authoritative voice cut through the drone of the airport. "Excuse me, ma'am. Is that your bag?" She turned to face a male airport security officer, Officer Reynolds, a burly man with a stern expression and a name tag that read Airport Security. Beside him stood a female colleague, Officer Chun, already eyeing Lena's expensive suit with what Lena perceived as a mix of suspicion and disdain. "Yes, officer. It is," Lena replied, her voice calm despite the immediate tension. "I just got off Flight 9C from Heathrow." Officer Reynolds folded his arms, his gaze sweeping over her without warmth. "Really? Because we've been watching this bag for a while. It's been sitting here unclaimed. Looks mighty expensive to be just left around." Lena felt a familiar tightening in her chest. This wasn't just about an unclaimed bag. "I assure you, it's mine. I can unlock it for you right now, show you my identification and my boarding pass." She reached for her handbag. "Hold on there," Officer Chin interjected, stepping closer. "You seem mighty eager to get your hands on it. People leave bags all the time. We have procedures for this, you know. Suspicious activity." Lena paused, her hands still. The subtle shift in their tone, the immediate assumption of guilt. It was a dance she knew all too well. "Suspicious activity? I just landed, officer. My flight arrived literally minutes ago. I was in the restroom, and now I'm here to collect my bag. And yet, you're the first one to approach it." Officer Reynolds' tone dripped with skepticism. "Almost like you're waiting for us to leave. Huh? What's in the bag, ma'am?" "My personal belongings. Mostly documents," Lena stated, her patience wearing thin. "And I don't appreciate the insinuation. Are you accusing me of something?" Officer Chin scoffed. "We're just doing our job, ma'am. There have been a lot of high-value luggage reported stolen recently. And frankly, this bag looks like it could belong to one of those international thieves." She gestured vaguely towards Lena's olive skin and elegant features. The insinuation hung in the air, thick and undeniable. "International thieves?" Lena's voice dropped, ice cold. "Are you implying I'm a thief because of how I look?" Officer Reynolds' face hardened. "We're implying nothing, ma'am. We're just following protocol. You match a certain profile." Lena's mind raced. She could argue. She could fight. She could pull out her CEO credentials right now. But a deeper, more profound anger was simmering. This wasn't just about her. It was about every person who had ever been profiled, subjected to suspicion based on nothing but prejudice. "What profile is that, officer?" Lena asked, her eyes narrowing. "A successful woman traveling with a nice suitcase?" Officer Chin laughed a short, brittle laugh. "Now you're putting words in our mouths. We're just being vigilant. You want a bag? We'll need to take it to security for a full, and you'll need to come with us for questioning." "Questioning?" Lena repeated, her voice deceptively soft. "For what?" "Try to retrieve my own luggage." "For suspicious behavior. For loitering around a potentially stolen item," Officer Reynolds stated, taking a step closer, his hands subtly moving toward his sidearm. The implicit threat was clear. Lena looked at the two officers. She knew her rights. She knew the power she held. But she also knew that in this moment, for them, she was just another profile. A profound realization hit her. These are the gatekeepers, the low-level enforcers who knowingly or unknowingly perpetuated systemic biases. "All right," Lena said, her voice regaining its earlier calm, a dangerous calm that bordered on chilling. "Let's go to security. I'll comply fully." As they escorted her through the bustling terminal, Lena pulled out her phone. She didn't call her legal team or her assistant. Instead, she opened a specific app. Her fingers flying across the screen, she quickly located the Airport Security Operations Center number. Then, with a few more taps, the direct line to Ms. Eleanor Vance, the airport's general manager, a woman she had been introduced to just last week during an exclusive networking event for top industry leaders. Lena had casually mentioned Ether Systems' new ventures, and Ms. Vance had been very impressed. Upon reaching the cramped, fluorescent-lit security office, Lena was asked to sit in a small, uncomfortable chair. Officers Reynolds and Chun stood over her, their expressions subtly triumphant. "So, what's your full name, ma'am?" Officer Reynolds began, pulling out a notepad. Before Lena could answer, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. It was Ms. Vance. She answered, putting it on speaker. "Dr. Vasquez? Eleanor Vance here. I just got your urgent message. You're at security? What in the world is going on?" Her voice, usually composed, was laced with concern. Officers Reynolds and Chun exchanged confused glances. "Ms. Vance," Lena said, her voice clear and strong, deliberately audible to the officers. "Yes, I am. Your officers, Reynolds and Chun, have accused me of attempting to steal my own luggage. They claimed I was loitering and matched a profile for high-value luggage thieves and implied this based on my appearance." She didn't raise her voice, but every word was a hammer blow. There was a stunned silence on the other end, then a sharp intake of breath from Ms. Vance. "They did what?" "Dr. Vasquez, I am so incredibly sorry. This is unacceptable. Where are you exactly?" "I'm coming down there right now." This instant, Officer Reynolds' jaw dropped. Officer Chin's face paled. The triumphant expressions vanished, replaced by dawning horror. "I'm in the security office near baggage claim 9, Ms. Vance," Lena continued, her gaze fixed on the now squirming officers. "And while you're on your way, perhaps you can clarify something for your staff. As the CEO of Ether Systems, a company that just signed the largest federal security contract in your airport's history, I would think my identity would be quickly verifiable. My presence here is for a meeting with your board to discuss that very contract." The officer's eyes widened in disbelief, then shame. The weight of her words, of her true identity, crashed down on them. Lena heard Ms. Vance barking orders on the other end of the line, her voice rising in fury. "You two, Officers Reynolds and Chun, what is your employee ID number? You are both hereby placed on immediate suspension pending a full investigation. And I mean immediate. I'm coming to escort Dr. Vasquez personally." She hung up. The security office was utterly silent. Officers Reynolds and Chun stood frozen, their bravado shattered. Lena calmly picked up her bag, unlocked it with her fingerprint, and opened it briefly to reveal perfectly folded clothes and a stack of confidential documents, just as she'd said. She didn't gloat. She didn't yell. She simply looked at them, a quiet power radiating from her. Minutes later, a mess. Vance burst into the office, her face beet red, panting slightly. "Dr. Vasquez, I cannot apologize enough for this egregious misconduct. This is an absolute disgrace. I've already initiated disciplinary action. These officers will be terminated." She turned to Reynolds and Chun, her eyes blazing. "You two are fired, effective immediately. Get out of my airport. You are a stain on this institution." Lena watched them, heads bowed in humiliation, being escorted out. She felt no joy, only a grim satisfaction. It wasn't about vengeance. It was about ensuring that the next minority CEO or the next innocent person wouldn't have to endure what she just had. "Thank you, Ms. Vance," Lena said, her voice professional once more. "I appreciate your swift action. Now, about that board meeting." She extended her hand, a powerful woman reclaiming her space and her narrative. The airport, once a place of subtle hostility, was now fully aware of the force they had almost foolishly dismissed. And as Lena walked out, her head held high, she knew this wasn't just a personal victory. It was a loud, clear message against prejudice, delivered with the quiet, devastating power of truth.